We see so many good tennis players playing on the left-hand side with aggressive volleys, attacking smashes, but have no idea in the corner of the court. So that's what we'll cover today, is the left-hand corner. Hey Paddle Scholars, Sandy here. Today we're going to look at a really frustrating area of the game, and that is the double glass in the left-hand corner. Now, we've already done the video on the right-hand corner, which I'll put up there, but this is for those players that play on the left-hand side and are receiving those really attacking smashes from their opponents. So in this video, we're going to discuss when you should be leaving that ball to go in the glass, where you should be moving according to the angle that the ball goes in, and what you should be trying to do with that ball to get yourself out of trouble. So one important consideration that we have on the left-hand side that we don't normally have on the right-hand side is that in the left corner, you are more than likely going to be receiving more Viboras, more attacking slice smashes that have a lot of side spin on. That ball is probably coming a little bit faster and it's going to be staying sometimes a little bit lower, particularly at the higher levels. You will receive that on the right-hand side if it's a left-hander that's playing into that side, but most of the time the contact point is a little bit higher on the right hand side, so the ball is a little bit bouncier. On this side it will be a little bit lower, a little bit more to the side of the body, and therefore the ball will stay lower and have more rotations on it. So importantly, the decision about whether to use the glass or not comes into play. If the ball is, you can see it's going to be really low and there's going to be lots of rotations and it's going to cause you a lot of problems, this might be a ball to step up and block that before it goes into the double glass. So when we're talking about using a double glass from a volley or from a low overhead with lots of rotation, you need to analyze that ball as fast as you can and say, can I get into a good position? At World Padel Tour level, they can get into a good position, and often you see them hitting extremely good lobs from very difficult positions. For us mere mortals, it means, you know, we need to adjust and normally play that ball if it's a little bit higher, a little bit bouncier, and those are the ones that we use off those double glass. So now we're going to focus on mainly the vibora or the bandeja from that cross-court position, but we should also be aware that from this angle we could often face a flatter smash or even a topspin smash that is coming into this corner. So the topspin smash, that ball will sit up a little bit, but for the bandeja and the vibora, that will stay a little bit lower, and that's what we're going to focus on now, because the majority of those and the more difficult ones to defend are from good vibras or good bandejas with the ball bouncing into that corner. So let's have a look at a little hotspot of where these balls are usually ending up so we know where we need to move. So I'm going to hit a series of balls now from this position here that would probably be your most likely position from a bandeja or a vibora on the court. I'm going to put a little bit of side spin on the ball because that's what an intermediate or an advanced player would probably hit on that, and we're going to have a little look at where most of these balls are going to end up. Yeah, and I'm going to mix it up between side glass and back glass, which one they're contacting first, just so we can get a really nice mixture of understanding where that ball is going to go. Yeah, again, I'm not hitting anything particularly special. I'm just rolling that ball in with a little bit of side spin, a little bit of slice, trying to give us an idea of where these are going. I'll do two more. Try and get that side glass. There it is. Yeah, so there we can get a good, that's a dozen balls or so that we can get a nice idea of where those balls have landed. So really interesting to see there that if the ball has got a little bit of side spin, the ball ends up in this channel here. Now it doesn't matter if the ball hits this glass first, because of the side spin it's bouncing, hitting the back glass and coming into this area. Or if it hits the back glass first, it's bouncing and again coming into this area. It's not like the other side of the court where when that ball comes into the side glass you need to move out of the way and you play the ball like that. And that is where players really get stuck, is they come away from the ball thinking, oh, I've got to give this space, and then it ends up hitting either the side glass or it hits this glass and then ends up in this zone, and they're too far away to actually defend that ball. So the one thing that we can take from that is that regardless of if it hits back glass or side side glass, if the ball has side spin, like the majority of the Viboras that were hit from that position, the ball will end up in this channel here. And the really nice thing about that is that you can tell if that ball is going to have side spin as the person is preparing for their shot. If they're preparing to the side of the ball and you can see that that ball is going to bounce to the side of them, there's no way that they can't put side spin on the ball when they're contacting here, unless they have some weird wrist action at the end there. Yeah, so most of the time, if they're adapting and moving to the side of the ball like this, you're going to expect a little bit of slice and some side spin. If the ball is above their body and they've come underneath it, then it's going to be a little bit flatter. And in that situation, if the ball is a bit flatter, then when it hits the side glass, it will come a little bit more central. But just so you know, you want to be in this position here. Again, we're talking ready, read, react, and we're ready in this position. We hit our previous shot, we see what type of ball, and we're reading our opponent's body position, where they are on the court, and we are already starting to adapt and identify and then react as to where we're going to move in order to retrieve that ball. So in both the video on the right hand side of the court and this video, we've talked about the angle that the ball goes in, where you should be moving in order to prepare and get into position. But this is only actually good and useful if you allow that ball to hit the glass. Yeah, I know there's a huge temptation when you're beginning and you're learning the game, you do not have confidence in this area. So players are half volleying or volleying, are doing anything they can to avoid that double glass. But you need to put yourself in a situation where you're like, right, I'm gonna let the ball come in the double glass so I get used to the rebound, understand where the ball is gonna go, and then adapt. And that is how you practice, that is how you're gonna get better, is by allowing that ball into the glass and then adapting accordingly. And all it takes is a little bit of time, and you will be surprised at how quickly you can actually learn this part of the game. Now, obviously the walls are complicated. I'm not denying that the walls are not complicated. We have a whole course on the walls because we know that it's actually quite difficult to learn this part of the game. I'll put that course here and also put the video for the right hand side of the court up in this corner because that is slightly different but equally important.